And we're probably live. I see 3D Medic Vince already in chat. If you're still hanging out here, good to see you. Picking up kind of where we left off last week. I'll wait for people to hop in, but we're going to be working on one of these Dell thin clients again today. It's pretty much where we left it last week. I did a little more work, but then I kind of forget what I did, so we'll be figuring it out as we go along. One thing I need to do though before we get started, because I'm not so much hands-on keyboard on the streaming PC, it keeps turning off the display, so I just got to go fix that. How's everybody's week been so far? Have it up to 30 minutes. Anybody working on any fun projects? I've got about the same amount on the go as last time. I did build a tiny little fan, although it isn't working as well, so I soldered pins to a USB cable because the thin client doesn't have headers for fans, but it keeps these pins aren't the best. I probably should have test fitted them first. So yeah, trying to put little bends in them so they got a little more to go on, you know. There we go. Glenn Hogue is back. Greetings from Alabama. Just got back from Rocky Mountain Rep Rat Festival. How was that? I've never been. I've only heard good things though, so hopefully you will continue that trend. I'm just going to switch the overhead camera on here now so you guys can take a look. Also, I just realized I don't have a capture device set up for this right now, so hopefully we got into the BIOS there. I was working on a Pi KVM this week, and right now it's connected to that, so we just gotta switch out of here because it's pretty good, but it's not quite good enough to get like full frames per second, you know what I mean? I gotta do a little moving and soldering. My desk is a bit of a mess. I came in a little bit early, but not quite enough to make it perfect. Let's go ahead and get the overhead camera. So you can see I got a little 5-volt fan there. I think we're just gonna let it sit right there. It's not optimal placement. These things are built to not have active cooling. I have a few Dell thin clients to play with. Got them from swapping out newer ones. Customer had me remove the SSDs and send them back, but they weren't interested in the devices. That's fair. All of the ones I got here, none of them. I think one of them accidentally had a 16 gig module in it. I don't quite know where that one's gone just at the moment. But yeah, so using SATA extension cables, I was able to connect a full-size SSD or whatever to it. It does make putting it back together a little bit of a challenge. You can kind of squeeze it together, but the other thing is, in my research on these guys, they're running the AMD T48E processor, and they were locked down software-wise. It might be BIOS as well, but just to err on the side of caution, they were locked down software-wise to run at like half of the wattage of normal so that they didn't overheat. So just to be safe, since we're running full-fledged operating systems on them, I wanted to get a little active cooling going on it. And I'm curious if I'm probably gonna have to select something else and then go here. Okay, and we're not seeing video. Bring that up. This should be our capture from this device. Which thin clients are they? They're probably newer than this. These are pretty low end. These are the Dell Wyse 5010s. Just gonna go ahead and power it down and power it back on, and we'll see if we get video. Because we should. There we go. And I was playing with this, so I gotta put this back to HCI. Boot it up. That's been the snag too. I've had a couple people that have been looking for devices, and I had bought these 2 years ago when the Raspberry Pis were kind of unobtainium. So I got these for like $10 a pop. They needed RAM, power supply, and storage, but back then I could find like 128 gig drives for like $12. The RAM's DDR3, so it was like $5 a stick, and then, you know, any laptop power supply, any 19-volt power supply would run it. So I was actually picking them up at I got 3 of them at like Value Village. So it was like, well, $10 plus $5 for RAM, $10 to $15 for the storage, 30, and then the power supply like $5. So it was still cheaper than especially in Canadian dollars, still much cheaper than the Pi. But we're blank screen right now. Where's the mouse for here? I just want to see if we... Yeah, I'm not seeing... Oh, there we go. Just being impatient. Well, unless it's boot looping. I don't think so, though. So I'll go ahead and drag this back in, and then we'll bump up me in priority. There we go. I got a friend that's got a few of them too that have been like decommissioned from various businesses and stuff like that. So he said if I wanted to try playing with some different ones, which I always do, that he'd pass on one or two. So last week we left off, I want to say trying to get Retro Deck running. Boot looping though, it looks like. That's weird. Wonder why. Oh no, there we go, we're good. Just got impatient again. I was working on a VirtualBox last week. We ran into some weird network issues, and the virtual machine was having trouble doing updates. So I don't think I've touched that one since. But after all the updates and stuff were done, so one thing I did do is I did copy some games to the Pi, or to the thin client, because sometimes file copies and stuff are time consuming, and I didn't want to make anybody wait for boring things. Well, I mean, it's going to happen anyways, but wonder if we have... we do. Not apt install. We're going to do a sudo flatpak run net.retrodeck. Oh wait. Doing this the hard way. You can just do !23 to rerun an existing command. I bet you there's a couple people scream at their monitors or about to type into chat that there's an easier way to do what I was doing. Here we have RetroDeck, which I understand was a version of Emulation Station's front end that was built for the Steam Deck, and I plugged in a controller and completely lost track of where I put it. One thing I'd like to check though, I think we can do another instance of terminal, because I'd like to get a baseline on how it's doing. I think it's sensors. We're 45 degrees with the fan running. which is not too bad. I'm curious if we take the fan away, how quickly it starts to warm up. Well, let's see if we can get it to do some stuff first. I'll tab back into Emulation Station. Then I really got to figure out... Oh, right there. So we'll go in here, and I tossed Mario 3 on it, which the audio should be muted because I don't need to get a Nintendo copyright strike tonight. That's very, very slow. I don't know how to get the... Well, those are a bit more, or more than a bit more performant than this guy. So I'm afraid this is running nowhere close to full speed. I don't remember if we got to this point last week now or not. Because I did, for the sake of saving time, install some other options. This is not very responsive, because I was, you could probably hear it. I was tapping the jump button there. And no bueno. Oh, it's because I was tapping the run button instead of the jump button. Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to be lining up for this type of experience. Although if you get killed in this one, got nobody to blame but yourself, I guess. Might as well try and beat one level. Also, yeah, the B and A button are reversed, so... I don't know if we're gonna do it. That's some moves I couldn't pull off at full speed, I tell you that much. I think that's probably enough. Okay, so Retro Deck is Pigleg Paul underscore 1770. What? First Xander? No, but who the hell are you? You've been chasing Xander around for how long? This is gonna end up being Xander. He created 2 accounts for himself for the attention. And the extra views, probably. Welcome to chat, Pegleg Paul underscore 1770. Yeah, we're doing a little retro gaming. So, yes, Retro Deck is a version of... oh, sorry, are you actually Xander? The actual Pegleg Paul? Yeah, so... performance there is not so great. And at first I thought maybe it's Emulation Station or whatever, but I don't... Well, it's not. I just gotta figure out... How could I forget you? Uh, easily, I guess. Where did I run? Oh, is it just RetroArch? No, we do have um, emulation station. History rep ESDE. I wound you. I feel like you'll probably get over it. I honestly, like, Install Game Boy. Install. Trying to think. 3090 is 10th generation Intel. The 7010 is 13th generation. I mean, those are pretty speedy compared to this thing. This is old AMD. It's a little laggy today. Honestly, I'm trying to remember. Did I just download it maybe? Oh yeah, it was a what do you call those? The app image. It was an app image. I think we go here and here. So, using the Steam Deck version, performance was pretty bad, but then if we drop into what looks basically the same type of thing, but not running the one that was built for the Steam Deck, we'll go to the same game. These are all placeholders, by the way. I totally don't have all these games loaded on here. It's just this one, which I'm definitely covered for like 3 or 4 times. Well, that's interesting. Mezzin Libretto. Okay. Messen libretro. So I think we can do a apt sudo apt search. Need to drag this up so I can actually see what I'm doing. Messen. We see a Okay, I'm going to do this one more time just to see if I can... What am I doing wrong here? Because it's saying it's missing the core for it. libretro.so. Messen underscore libretro. Not finding it. Okay. Well, that's okay. I have 15 different... Oh yeah, let's see what the temperatures have hit without the fan on it. We're at 56. Go ahead and toss the fan back into place for a couple of minutes, and then we'll see where we're at. I need to keyboard switch. The Pi KVM is great, but it's not quite a quite a direct replacement for everything I've got here, so... Can't quite see chat for 2 seconds. So it says, if we've got RetroArch installed, which we do, we should be able to use the core update. I feel like we tried to maybe do this last week and it didn't work. I'm not positive. But we'll find out in a second here. In the meantime, let me get chat back up where I can see it. Oh, that's a pretty sweet deal. How much RAM was in each of them? Probably 4 to 8, I'm assuming. So, I think RetroArch has a core downloader built into it, doesn't it? What did the pirate say when he turned 80? ARM 80? ARM 80? Something to do with matey? Stellar restore core. Space, I guess. I matey. Womp womp. Build bot cores. About assets. Automatically extract. Show experimental cores. So I feel like I'm supposed to be able to see the cores that are available. Yeah. I also think there's got to be some way to... Just create a ROM folder here, right? Set the default, because I do have, I think, an NES core installed. Just pick one. Load archive. So it works with Nestopia, right? I'm back out of it by pressing select and start at the same time. That works. I think I need to look up. Oh wait, I think that's what's running my build table PC. I have a PC at my at a desk in the living room so I can reference assembly manuals when I'm dinking around with 3D printer builds. I'll go check. Cool. I gotta look up how to, because I don't know how to change the default core. I just don't. Let's see. Looks like I have to do it outside of the software. So let's figure out system tools. Let me get live chat back up. Collection setting, utilities. I don't think there's anything in here. Alternative emulators. Oh, can we just change it here? Dystopia? Does it just work now? That'd be wonderful. See if that just works. It does. Okay, so here's the big selling point. That's running at full speed. I think we can go here and video and somewhere in here there's a spot to show output. Yeah, somewhere in here there is a place to turn on FPS so you can see. Maybe it's under configuration. User interface. It's probably under user interface, and then on-screen overlay. No, that's for the. I think that's for showing the camera, keyboard, and sorry, the gamepad for a touchscreen. Display frame rate. Yeah, okay, it's on. So I guess the question is, does it show now? Is it under me, maybe? Too many mice. Come on. Get over there. Hey, there we go. So as you can tell, probably this is a significantly closer to actual gameplay mode. Playing through a capture card is not ideal. I think professional streamers will usually split it so that they don't get the latency added to it, but I don't think anybody's ever going to consider me a professional streamer, so... I do not. I did grab a battery. Thank you, though. Let's see if I can successfully, at 60 frames a second, do what I couldn't do at 0.3 frames a second, or whatever it was doing. Oh, I want to get that star, though. Boom, star. Okay, so not only Does it work better for Nintendo? I don't have anything installed for Nintendo 64 yet, but if we drop down to... I'm going to go for a Super Mario game again. Let's go with Super Mario All-Stars, which hopefully will work first try. You see, we're pretty close to 60 frames a second anyways. We're over, so, you know, probably averaging to 60. 63 rather. No, 60. 60 is what I meant. I know what you're thinking. How many times are we going to see this level? Well, this is probably the last time, because I don't think they released it on it yet. Well, actually, that's not true. It is on Game Boy Advance, but we ain't doing that today. So, you know, it does a pretty good job for the retro stuff. What's this run into? The controller layout is a little weird, but... And start. Much better. Well, that's a pretty capable machine. So, we got all that stuff working on it. I'm trying to remember what else we were working on last week. This is where we left off. And Ubuntu has been pretty good on it. I don't know if there's a better suited operating system for it. For it, I think you could go up to 8 gigs of RAM, but even DDR3 is kind of crept up, and I don't really want to invest very much money into. You see we're down below 50, and we were under load there for a bit, so a little fan does quite a bit, especially if I could get the airflow through the pipes, but better than nothing. We have browsing operating on this too, so Firefox is... I mean, here's the thing. It's still a, like, what, 14 or 15-year-old machine with 4 gigs of RAM, and it wasn't fast when it was made, you know? Can I send this to a... I don't really know how to create a shortcut if there's such a concept in this operating system. Why does it keep... I keep selecting my camera to drag it and then it's picking anything but. So there's no right click and drag, right? Nothing like... can I create a new... I'm hoping somebody out there is more... Most of my Linux has been command line, so I'm hoping somebody out there is more adept than I am. Obviously, there's links because I don't think all the applications in the start menu or in the task menu, whatever we call it, are just the executable sitting there. Create new blank file. Let's try that. Emulation station, and then do I have to actually like create a script for it? See if I can just do home James downloads. es-de_x64.appimage. Is that it? Hey, Mike. How you doing, bud? Do I need to give it a... Is there a rename option here? I'm gonna have to Google this, aren't I? Did Firefox never load? Did I never click on Firefox? You guys are quiet this week. The other thing I did try on this machine, last week we were playing with Ventoy. Is that what it is? Anyways, it will not boot on. It will not boot on this machine. So let's go click off of things first here. We're going to do a search for create app shortcut on desktop Lubuntu. I guess we'll find out. Okay, well that's coming. This is not quite usably fast. The thing is, because it's been delayed, I don't... Let's see, is that... Did we get there in the end? Create launcher. Did I miss that? Go ahead and minimize because I don't want to spend the doi. That's okay, and I'm just gonna leave it in the download folder because this is all just for playing. Click OK. Get rid of this one. Does that work? It does. Hopefully nobody's laughing at me too hard because that was pretty much right where it was expected to be. It was where I even checked. I apparently didn't even look at it. Now we're back. Now I would like to test. I do have some other stuff to show you guys though. I set up a second drive. I did some playing with some other stuff. I've got some, a fun little use for the setup. Mupin 64 Plus next. Okay, so I got to look up how to add that. At least you guys get to see me going through, and it's not unusable. I don't know that there would ever be a time that this was considered fast, because sometimes you go back to a computer that was fast and state of the art at the time, and you start using it, you're like, oh, this is brutally slow. I don't think that this is one of the ones where it's like, well, if we had it 20 years ago, we would have thought it was fast. I had a better effort, or I had better luck doing this previous. One thing we can try and do, I'm going to bring up terminal again. We're just going to pull the history, and I'm going to see, because sometimes you can make a guess as to how the... So let's do sudo apt search lib retro. I think that'll give me all the ones that start with that, right? Pull up the history for one again. And we'll try and sudo apt install lib retro dash. What was it? I already forgot. Lupin 64 plus, probably. Well, the other thing we can try and do, sometimes I've gotten close and I do a search and then I find somebody else that's tried to do it the same way. My other mouse just fell. I guess it didn't copy. I'm so used to putty at this point. Copy selection. See if this one will go. Sudo apt install paste clipboard. Yeah, I didn't think so. I don't know what the dash star does. Is it going to give me a list of ones that are available? Yeah. Let's see. These are all lib. It's installing movement. Whatever. I know. That's a terrible way to go about this. Unsubscribe. That makes sense. I knew the star was a wild card. I just didn't know what it would do in the case of an install, but I guess it makes sense that it works the same way as a asterisk in a search or anything else. Well, it's a system to play with, so I'm not gonna stress. I would never do this. For the record, I would never do this on like a production server or something like that. In case everybody's looking, go, oh, he's willing to just toss whatever onto a machine. We're gonna do this, and it's not even. It's not gonna even have gotten the core that we needed. Ah, I don't want to do that. Interesting. I guess you can launch the game that's associated with the video that's playing when it's in carousel mode or whatever. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay, I'm gonna move myself. I feel like I'll do less damage down here because there is more to that now that I'm looking. Let's see. Movement 64 plus underscore next under. What I'd like to know is, and maybe I should just be Googling this, why I'm not getting access to the cores from, because I guess there is supposed to be a core installer. Let me do some searching outside of this machine. Core. Okay, so what it says, we'll try its default stuff first. So let's drop out of here. Because what it says we want to do is in RetroArch, there's a navigate to main menu. Okay. There's supposed to be online updater. Oh, there it is. I'm blind. Online updater, core system file downloader. It says select core downloader. See, I don't think... Oh, maybe this is... Maybe I've been doing this the hard way. So let's go Nintendo 64. No, this is the stuff that's available to it, looks like. These are maybe built-in ROMs? I gotta move so I can see chat as well. So I feel like, am I missing something? Install or restore core from the downloads directory. That doesn't... I mean, I guess I could probably go and find updater settings. It's the same thing. I think that's just the game. There's a description at the top. Explore. Main menu. Online updater. And then there's supposed to be a core downloader. And I do not... No information available. Let's see if I have to download a... Okay, so I mean it downloaded the databases, which is probably the list of games and stuff like that, but do I have to like go pick? So if I do load content, I go to here and I go pick an N64 game, for example. I did just do the update database. Still not seeing anything there, so I'm just wondering if I pick a do load archive, no cores available. Load core. Download add-ons, components, and content for core systems file downloader. It's like, oh, maybe I don't have an internet connection, but I do. Billbot, libretro. Show experimental backup course. Huh. Just gonna jump on the Google on my phone. How's it going, Mark? Welcome back to the stream. Kind of picked up where we left off last week. Oh, okay, hold on. Hold on. Apparently, we need to go to settings, user interface, menu item visibility. Ta-da! Oh, it was a long one? Well, I hope you're getting to relax now. I'm just going to go ahead and save the current configuration before we end up losing what we just did. And then we're going to go to online updater, core downloader. I wonder why it's hidden by default. Because, like, you need to be able to download cores, and obviously I was doing it kind of weird before, but okay, we're looking for Moopin, right? Nintendo 64. I passed it already. 3DS. DS. Probably without the dash, and that's why it's after everything. Huh. I don't see any... Oh, there it is. Nintendo Dash. Failed to install Core. Failed to install Core. I don't imagine this is going to be the reason, but well, maybe, because it didn't save the configuration. User interface, menu item visibility. Configuration. Saved. But it saved a root this time, which is not what we want. But just to see if that's what the problem is, go to Core Downloader and then pick the same one, just in case I picked a couple in a row that were... Core is installed. Okay. So now the question is, if we do cold lemonade. I am a fan of the cold lemonade, I will say. One of my favorite beverages. I don't know if, since I ran it as root, if it's going to be available, because the configuration is stored in a different place. And this is not running as admin. It's gonna work, I think. Not at a great FPS for the fact that it's just displaying text, but I also don't know if it's reading the controller or not. Let's go to a simpler, or a game that I know better is. It's going to be Super Mario again. It's either or Star Fox. Well, at least we got that solved. Well, without the audio playing, I'm not entirely positive how it's doing. It's most likely outputting through the capture device, although I don't see the audio bouncing on it at all. So we're definitely not getting 60 FPS though, on account of the FPS gauge showing. Welcome to the stream, Mitch. How you doing, buddy? We're just abusing some old Dell Thin clients to see what kind of performance we can get out of them. That would be a miracle, as I don't even have a gamepad that has analog sticks, so Yeah, very clearly slow. Good seeing you too, Pegleg Paul underscore. Okay, well, I don't think we need much more of a test than that. We'll drop out. Okay, so Nintendo 64 is not really going to be a thing on it. At least not with that core. It was Mugen. This machine is a very low power from 2011 1.6 gigahertz dual core AMD processor. I'll show you quickly. Not that anything's quickly these days, but if I turn off this guy here, this is the machine here. So, not really. Yeah, if I can get a later device, I will. Just wait for one to come along for the right price, but yeah, it's on the list. And I'll try other cores as well to see if there's something that does it better. In RetroArch, I can obviously now download them, but I can also just launch games from there and then change the configuration once I find stuff that works well. So yeah, that's the emulation stuff. So I imagine, maybe PlayStation 1 will run okay. I know sometimes it's hit or miss with other stuff, but Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and like 16-bit and back should be fine. So this is closer to the performance of like the Orange Pi devices I was working with a few years back. So yeah, shipping's pretty ridiculous. I appreciate that, Glenn, though. I truly do. And we'll see too. I've got a buddy that said he's got a couple. I don't know what they could be older. They could be newer. I don't know yet. So we'll see how that ends up being. I should have done this right after we dropped, but oh no, it's still in. Okay. It's gonna quit out of here. Then see what kind of temps we pulled. Yeah, I think even with this thing running, it's not actually running at full speed. I think it's firmware limited to keep the wattage down. I think it's a 15 watt TDP processor, and I think it's a 15 watt TDP processor, and I think according to the documentation, it's running at like 8 watts. So, or it's been trained to not exceed 8 watts. So, maybe stick an ice cube on top of it. Curious. If you get the airflow going through it. I'm pretty sure that's the recommended methodology, is just dropping a fan and like just letting it blow air right through but like let it sit on the motherboard. Anyways, I don't think thermals are an issue right now. I don't think getting it cooler is going to make it run a whole lot better. But other things that we can take a look at. So this machine's okay if somebody wanted something that'll do the old stuff. I was hoping it would do at least up to N64, but a bit of a pipe dream. Mostly because I've got 10 of them, and I've got friends that would like to do some of the emulation stuff, but everything's so expensive these days. So we'll get this shut down, and then I'll show you what else I've been working on with it. Not really. Nobody that like comes across. No easy way for me to grab anything either. I'm pretty decent distance from the border now, so unfortunately not, and I won't be at any events this year. We'll see what happens in the future for events, but this year unfortunately is going to be a bit of a no-go. That's why I'm trying to keep track of everybody in the streams. Just waiting for the shutdown to finish here. Just taking its time. Yeah, the border's risky business right now. This is taking a while to shut down. Like, I'm all for shutting your computer down properly, but make it easy, you know? Don't tell anybody I'm doing this. I don't want to just sit here with dead air. So yank that Thickwatt SATA SSD. Yeah, we're at the point now where we're hoping the best from AliExpress stuff. I think that drive's got like no cache on it, so it's like faster than spinning disk, but not by as much as you'd like, I think. Yeah, I swore I'd never end up in a cage in a Florida swamp again after college. So. The only other thing I might have wanted to do, I've got this system set up to put a gig of memory to the frame buffer, which is probably too much for what we were doing there. I probably could have dropped it down to even like 128 and given a little more memory to the system, but I don't know. I don't know if it would have made the difference. We can try it later. Right now, the one thing that has worked reasonably well on this machine is, and you probably, if you're paying attention, you probably just saw the splash screen because I didn't get into the BIOS on time, but so that'll make it less of a surprise. But if not, that's right, Windows XP Service Pack 3. I've been tinkering with it quite a bit because I didn't want to touch the Linux one too much without it being shared on stream. I will check out that DM shortly. Actually, I can always... I know you said later, but... Oh yeah, we can chat about that later. Yeah, it was not unlike your experience, I think. So, Windows XP on these machines runs pretty well. I imagine I can probably... So, there's going to be a couple of things. The audio doesn't work necessarily properly through the HDMI output. Let's go ahead and take a look and see. Yeah, I don't think anybody's sticking around for me right now, so I'm going to hide my image so that I'm not... I mean, nobody's sticking around for my face on the display. So, sound, no audio, and then output. I'm just curious if we set that to HDMI out, if we then will get... Oh, we do. Interesting. So I don't have audio now, but maybe you guys do. You guys will have to let me know if you can hear the ding. And the reason why I want you to hear the audio is because so it works well with all sorts of older games that run under Windows. Glenn heard the beep. So if we launch, for example, Unreal Tournament, we're not going to do any of the combat. I know there's some people that don't like to watch first-person shooters and stuff like that. Totally understand, respect that. We're not gonna jump into that. I just want something that's going to have audio going for more than a couple of seconds, and then I'll drop out. So right now you should be hearing music. The music should be smooth. The gameplay is nice and smooth.
In 2291, in an attempt to
Drop out progress and stuff, but the sound quality there, I'm assuming, was pretty good. Let me know in chat if I'm wrong. But music playing, open narration, that's good. If you go with something like Duke Nukem or Duke 3 again, we're just going to load into the first screen. But what I found, and you'll have... Actually, this will be a good test. Let me know in chat if the audio sounds like it's delayed. Assuming you're getting conversation right now during his open dialogue. Because it sounded like it was running like a little bit slow. Plays nice and smooth. Nothing on this one. Okay, interesting. Well, I could have probably figured that one out myself, since I can see that there's no audio going through the mixer. Let's see. Sound setup. Let's go with a sound blaster. See if we get a test sound from this. See, and this test audio is supposed to be very, very quick, but it seems to be going forever. And I think you can probably hear it kind of like staggering. And it has that issue with DOS games. Yeah, so that is the issue. Yeah, we do need a real Sound Blaster card. We don't have a way to install. Well, I mean, it does have a mini PCI slot in it. So technically, I could get a mini PCI to like PCI adapter card maybe. So that's the issue we're running into right now with DOS games. Oh. Is there a way to save without launching? Yes, there is. But I'm trying to think of what else I've installed that is not that's a little more stream friendly. Anyways, plethora of games that are running on here. I started playing with Star Trek Legacy, which is probably a little bit more than this thing can handle, but you know, there's a bunch of games installed in. 2 of them are Star Trek. And hey, if you want to go play like Chip's Challenge, I imagine Chip's Challenge would run, you know, just great on here.
Bummer.
But they are a nice little Windows extension. Operating system that'll support the HD60. So that's where we're at with that. Yeah. So trying to think of what there's lots of single purpose things that'll work well with this. If you wanted, like, one of these would probably be good for doing we were talking about Pi-hole last week. The Pi-hole, the ad blocker. But could also toss that into a Docker container on my main server. Does well-ish with Linux stuff. I mean, it was a little slow, but it was usable. I don't know if I could handle... I mean, I guess it'd be a funny video to run it for a week as a daily driver and see how that goes. XP, though. So I do have a version of Chromium running on it that is current. Give you an idea of how browsing is on a modern browser on this machine here. We're still waiting for it to finish loading at this point. So yeah, we're not winning any races here. It is still very much waiting for stuff to happen. Should try an N64 emulator under here because I think some of the Windows ones are better. Well, it's trying. There we go. I had comments today when I showed it to one of my coworkers about how weird it is to see a more modern application running under Windows XP, the contrast. Windows XP N64 emulator. No, Project 64, that was the big one back then. I don't know how frequently it's been updated since then. Based on the file size, I'm going to go ahead and assume that not very often. Not too many pieces of software have stayed under 10 megs. I do think once the browser's loaded, though, that the browser experience is actually better under Windows XP than it was under Ubuntu. I'll have to grab a ROM and put it on a USB stick and bring it across. I do have one handy. And do I have a USB port I can use? Oh yeah. I learned from my mistake last week. I installed a USB hub up here, so I'm not running out of space. So let me go grab a file. I just want to see if it's better. So we'll copy it and we're gonna paste it. I'm gonna unzip it too, just in case, because I don't think these older browsers can, or these older emulators have the built-in ability to extract. But the funny thing is, so I'm out of SSDs, but I did have a couple of old laptop hard drives, like spinning disk ones, lying around. So this thing's a Windows XP running on like a 750 gig drive, which, you know, it's a bit of a helper right now, because like I said, no access to additional hardware. I just can't afford new SSD prices right now, you know? Let's go ahead and I'll do it the old-fashioned way. We'll create a folder in here. Here, I'll toss me back on so that anybody joining late doesn't think that it's just a silent stream as I make my way through stuff. There it is. Go ahead and drop this here. And we'll select the Project 64 for older PCs. I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to want to go with, but you know what? Let's feel optimistic. Let's say for modern PCs. I think it immediately crashed, so that's probably not necessarily a great thing. Yeah, that's shouldn't have gotten optimistic. You guys need to hold me back when I'm thinking things might just work. Project 64 config. I don't know for sure, but let's just try renaming the project 64.config.old. There we go. All's forgiven. It's still not going to work. We're probably missing some framework. Okay, well, we got that, we got that, we got that. Oh, there we go. Project 64 2.2. Two 2.3 is the oldest one here. We'll try it anyways. I don't think it's actually going to work. I don't think that's going to be the magic sauce, but you never know. So let's see what happens. Too impatient to wait for the redirect, so you're not going to trick me into clicking on the ad. And we're probably going to have to go add remove programs and remove that version of Project 64. I think the document did say 3.0 plus have removed ads, so. But AI has been good seeing you too, Glenn. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Always good to catch up. English. Okay, well, it didn't crash right away, so it's a thing that happened, or didn't happen, I guess, depending on how you look at it. The old days where it was The olden days where you had to use a different program for every emulator and you had to map everything. C buttons, digital pad, up, left. Yeah, we'll just leave it. We'll just leave it with the keyboard. Oh, I do want to see though, is there a show frames per second anywhere in here? And I'm going to mute the audio because if this works, we're definitely gonna be listening to Mario 64 music, and that's, first of all, it's gonna be make it more obvious if it's skipping, but also definitely get us flagged. Right off the bat, though, I'd say this is running much better. Yeah, it's much smoother. Also curious if we do an Alt-Enter. Hey Bob, how are you, bud? How's the day treating you? We're back to abusing thin clients. Got Windows XP running on this guy. And under Linux, although, you know, this leads me to believe maybe with the right core. Now, I think if we look into Project 64, it is not the best, not the best emulator. It's not very accurate. They sacrificed a lot of things to get things running at a proper speed. But when it came out, like, it was not very long after the N64 came out, I believe, and it was quite impressive. This is definitely running at full speed. This is not as easy to control with the not as easy to control with the keyboard as it is with the original controller, or any controller that has an analog stick on it and proper C buttons for adjusting the camera. Come on. Oy, oy, oy. Okay, well, I think we can agree that that seems to run pretty well. Certainly better than it did under Linux, under the Mupen core. Mitch, are you still hanging out? You still hanging about? Yeah, me getting in the way again here. Now, the game I haven't had a chance to try, but I can't imagine it's not going to run well on here, is Star Trek Armada. I virtualized all my games so that I don't have to have a CD drive connected to it. I don't remember if Armada is one that plays well with the optical image. Say instant action. Let's be the Borg. And then we'll see if it gives an error saying, hey, you gotta insert the CD. Looks like it runs pretty well right off the bat. If you've never played Star Trek Armada and you're a Star Trek fan, it is a fun playthrough. It's you know, it's not canon or anything like that, but interesting concepts. It's one of those ones that if I was a gaming streamer, I would totally stream a playthrough of it. I try to beat it at least once a year, and always entertained by it. This is a game I play too before I could like look up playthroughs and stuff like that. So, if we're gonna be the Borg, we might as well also bump up the speed here. You know, kind of run of the mill for the RTS type games that were out at the time. Everybody was getting one made in their name, and Star Trek was no different. But the missions in it are pretty fun, and the voice actors and actresses are, well, not the voice, yeah, some of the voice actors and actresses are back, like Patrick Stewart, Michael Dorn, Dennis Crosby as Sela. Pretty neat stuff. Each species has its strengths and its weaknesses. The Borg is a heavy requirement on personnel. Insufficient dilithium. Now there should be a second moon somewhere. Actually, what I'll usually do for a little extra money is I'll disassemble one of so you can recover resources. I should have done this one. I don't know why I picked the further away one, but out past the first moon, there's usually another moon. I think I know these maps by heart now, as I said. There we go. Play it quite frequently. The second version of this game, Star Trek Armada 2, has additional resources. This one's basically just balancing dilithium and personnel. And command, like, so you can only control so many units. You can increase the number of units you control by building star bases and then upgrading those star bases. But, yeah, we'll see how things go here.
Station construction complete. Vessel construction complete. Location invalid.
Always try and build the initial stuff around the starbase, because the starbase is kind of the first line of defense. Oh, didn't have quite enough dilithium to do it when I clicked on it. There we go. Have enough now. And you gotta make sure you tell your mining ships to mine. I think this game's also available on Good Old Games as well, so you don't have to go and hunt down an old copy of it. We got a little bit of time left. Might as well show off one of my favorite games and probably lose, if we're being honest. Enemy engaged. So we'll queue up a couple of assimilators. So they have beams that assimilate personnel from other ships. You have to research the auto assimilator to use it. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm playing against the Borg. Go ahead and try and move. Oh, come on. There you go. Move this guy back. See if I can get him out of there before he gets destroyed. And I'm just going to kind of let my guys be a little cannon foddery there while I'm waiting for my stuff to finish up here. I'll see if I can lure one or more of them back up for the starbase to take care of.
We serve the collective. We are the board. We will comply. Unassimilated species engaged. We will comply. We will comply. The collective is under attack. Proceed. We are the
And we'll give her some repairs.
require regeneration. State objective.
Now that I got 3 of them, I should be able to kind of go in and just drain all the resources off those ships.
Proceed. Proceed to sector.
And then if you're quick enough, yeah, not gonna be quick enough with the lag. Now we want to get these guys going again, and we want to start building because I slowed down there a little bit too much.
Activate all outposts. Objective received. Initiating station construction.
Those repaired. Probably build one more.
Initiating
Because what we really want is the cube.
The collective must grow.
We want the cube and we want the holding beam, which are both pretty expensive.
We are the board. We are the board. Vessel construction complete. Proceed to sector. Unassimilated
Enemy
species
engaged. They're back.
We are the board. We will comply. Proceed. Relocate. We will comply.
Oh, I'm very much lagging. There we go. Hey, and I got I got an extra one. They supplied me with an extra ship. Isn't that lovely? Anybody else in chat played this before?
Initiating additional technology.
Or is this new to everybody? New, old, new.
Initiating vessel construction. Unassimilated species engaged. Proceed. Proceed. We are the board. Proceed.
Gotta get all those people assimilated. Truly the heroes of Wolf 359.
Vessel construction complete.
Oh,
State objective. The collective must grow. Unassimilated species engaged.
they blew up one of my ships, so I took one of their ships back. Seems pretty fair, right? I want to get a couple of these cubes going. They're pretty strong, but not not good enough that I want to try and go into a big attack with just one of them. Go ahead and queue up a few of those, I think. I think I'll probably just sort of hang back, and after their next attack, I'll
Additional technology.
go in on them. Oh, I see attacks.
Collective is under attack. Relocate. Proceed. We are the Lord.
Oh, apparently I'm just sending one down.
Relocate to grid.
Don't know how that happened.
Unassimilated species
Come on.
engaged.
Well, that's too bad. This is
Vessel construction complete.
becoming problematic.
We are the Lord. We serve the collective. Relocate to grid. Proceed. By your command. Proceed. We are the Lord.
Well,
We serve the collective.
I think
Relocate to grid.
we're just gonna go for it because, you know,
State objective. Unassimilated species engaged. We are
we are the Borg, so adapt and conquer or whatever.
all outposts.
I don't know if they're built up over here. There's 4 spots they could be.
State objective. We are the Lord.
What we're gonna do is assimilate that, then
State objective.
at least shut down and see. We can see that they've built over here. Let's
Activate.
go in here and
We serve the collective.
take out as many of their
The collective.
capabilities as possible.
The collective must grow. The collective is under attack. By your command. State objective. Unassimilated species engaged. The collective must grow. The collective must grow.
I don't know if I'll have enough power to do it with 2 of these, but let's see what happens.
The collective
Nope.
must grow.
Go ahead and back off.
Relocate to grid. We are the Lord. We are the Lord. The collective must grow.
Got 15 minutes to wrap this up, which I don't think we're gonna need all that time, but
We are the Lord.
what we'll do here before they destroy it, I'll just get the resources back for their dilithium mine.
The collective must grow. Activate all outposts. The collective must grow.
Could technically, if I want to increase my output, build a second shipyard assembler, I guess is what they're called. Advanced assembly matrix.
We are the Lord.
Go ahead and research that because I have no idea how many control nodes I have left because my picture is over top of them on my screen. You guys are getting the sound now too, right? I don't know if it's loud enough for you guys to be able to understand. I do see the sound bar going, but I've got it turned down a bit.
Station construction complete. Insufficient drones.
Insufficient crew. That's probably not unexpected.
Construction complete.
So we're just gonna have to go with what we got. Well, I guess I could build another star base
Station construction complete.
if I have enough crew. I don't know if I have enough for that because it's again covered up with the screen.
Insufficient drones.
Okay, well, we're gonna kill queuing these.
Activate all outposts.
Let's go ahead and see what 5 Borg cubes can do. and what they've rebuilt in the time that I've been gone. We did take out most of their technology nodes, so they may not have the ability to assimilate anything yet. And that's the way I would prefer it. Let's wait for all 5 of them to gather up here. There we go. Go ahead and jump to where they come out. We'll see if they've built a new mining facility. They probably have. Oh, doesn't look like it. What I like to do is just come in here and hammer it like this, because it's probably faster to assimilate it than it is to destroy it. Oh, they got one of my cubes. Not bad. Not great, but not bad. I think that's pretty much GG for them. I don't have quite enough going on there to be able to take them out. Let's see what we got for shields. Okay, well, we got enough shields to withstand for a little bit. Let's do the additional combat stuff first. Back. Okay, good. We're solid.
Assimilate this vessel. Proceed. Activate all alcoves. Proceed.
Okay, well, I think we're gonna go for repairs quick, and I can probably build another cube or two now. We've got 3 star bases turning out crew. The base is under attack. That's probably not a surprise. It's probably the base that's there. It will hopefully slow them down from being able to mine there.
Unassimilated species engaged.
And if we go ahead and recruit, we can increase the firing rate. Don't want to use up too many though.
We serve the collective.
Okay. This will be a final strike, and again, this, we're gonna wrap things up here in plenty of time for 9. That's the plan.
We serve the collective. Unassimilated species engaged.
He's gonna keep sending his little guys off there to die. And what do we got for resources? 6. 6 is good enough. We know they have their tech tree back up though, because these guys have their simulators running again. All the ships lose it once it's destroyed. It's not like, oh, if it was built while it was existed, they get to keep it. So pretty clear indicator that they've built a research tree somewhere.
Proceed to sector. Relocate to grid. Relocate to grid. We will adapt. Unassimilated species engaged. Relocate to grid.
The other neat thing is if you assimilate the research facility, anything that's still attached to it, you get to keep as the tech. I think I might be out of people on this particular on these ships. I think I probably didn't have enough drones to fully resupply them, but that's okay. We'll do this the old-fashioned way. The fact that they're not moving anywhere probably means they're out of resources too, so just a little quick cleanup. And some of these still show that they've got enough, so maybe what we'll do is we'll do a quick assimilate on this guy, because then we can just repair here and then go clear up the rest of the guys that are here, and we'll call it a day.
Activate all alcoves. By your command.
Just want to make sure that they're up into the green so they've got attack speed, because we're not going to care about assimilating for the next set. Just want to be able to inflict maximum damage.
By your command. By your command.
Once this one's above 500, we're good to go. And really even into the yellow is pretty good attack speed.
We serve the collective. Proceed to sector.
For some reason they built 3 mining facilities around here, which doesn't really help them, but
Unassimilated species engaged. We serve
we want to get the ships first. Sometimes the ships wander off, and
this vessel.
then you gotta go hunting around the map looking for the one that got away.
Commence attack. Assimilate this vessel. Commence attack. We serve the collective. Commence attack. Reload.
Assimilated the last one so I could see, because you saw there was like a little echo here. When you assimilate stuff, you momentarily get to see where all their stuff is. Also, there's something up here, so we'll have to go take a quick peek after that. But, so there's one. It didn't blow up.
Unassimilated species engaged.
And probably something up here. The smoke is left.
Assimilate this vessel.
One little scout ship left. There we go. And it's 8:57, so I think we'll probably call it there. I won't be doing gaming streaming, obviously, every round because I don't think I'm good at it. I think I need to be a little more vocal, a little more talking. But that'll wrap it up for this week. Next week, I'm not sure. We might continue fooling around. I'm going to take a look at what other operating systems are available. I do want to go through some of them, and I'm going to turn this into long form content, or like long form, not TikTok content. But yeah, that'll do it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and indulging me and keeping me company. And also, keep in mind if you guys have ideas for what things we can try on these boxes, I've got a couple more hard drives, so we can always start from scratch on something. And yeah, that's it for this week. Thanks, Mark. Good to see you. We'll chat a little in the DMs later on. But well, as always, thanks everybody who is hanging out here with me, keeping me company, and we'll see you in the next one. Probably be next Wednesday. All right. Oh, I gotta get the mouse ready to click the stop streaming button.